difficulties. There's always technical difficulties in life. There are always technical difficulties. We had some, and now we're back. Just like life, it's coming back. We're your kinky friends never dies. YKF never dies. We are here with the magnificent Mistress Cassidy. Now, I have I had a liver transplant. This woman has been by my side. She's seen me. She's seen me look like Gollum with Lord of the Rings. She's seen me go from 130 pounds to like I am now, almost 170 something. I was dying. I had a liver transplant. I was going through hell at the height of COVID I was living with someone who was bipolar, manic depressive, who cared for me very much, but was also going through an extreme mental breakdown. And I survived. And this person has been by my side and supportive and loving and caring and also flirtatious and a little wonderfully mean, deliciously evil. I love this woman. You should love her too. Please.
I love you too. Thank you.
Please welcome the magnificent Mistress Cassidy Graves. Say hi. What's going on?
Thank you so much. I love when you introduce me. That's why we had technical difficulties. The universe was giving me an opportunity to be introduced twice.
No. So, what's inspiring me these days, Mistress Cassidy?
It's so funny to repeat it, right? So, I was saying how when I was practicing for what I was sure you were going to ask me on my drive home today, I was like kind of stuck on this question because I'm kind of in a place where I'm looking for like new inspiration and motivation and all those kind of things to start some new projects and make some changes and fix my hair. Anyways, and what I came up with, the thing lately where I've been finding inspiration are these little clips of Bowie that I've been coming across. I'm a huge David Bowie fan. And where did you go, Nikki, by the way? It's wicked weird to talk
I'm
to
here. I
There you
haven't left.
I mean, I am such a narcissist, but I don't really want to talk to myself.
Bowie has been incredibly inspirational for me. Like you said, you grew up in the 80s. I grew up in the 80s, born in 75. So MTV played a major role. You know, I am a DJ. I am what I play. Fame, all that stuff.
Right.
China Girl. And then even we were talking about this before, and we please forgive me for repeating myself, but we weren't broadcasting correctly then. He was an artist till the day he died. And Black Star was his last album, and he said farewell. I mean, you and I are artistic people. We had, like you said, we just had a little bit of
we have like a taste of it.
Yeah.
And how lucky were we to be on the planet at the same time? You know what I mean? Like to have witnessed the things we've seen, but particularly Bowie.
Definitely. Now we were talking about this before, and I know we don't want to get into it that much because this is the positive spirited show. You were taking a break for a little while. And we all need to slow down sometimes. That's part of life.
Right.
Please tell us a little bit about why.
So
what happened?
We're going to do the shorter version this time because if I do it twice, I'll get all wet on the face and not.
I understand.
It'll be yucky. So almost 2 years ago, 2 years ago in May, so a year and a half ago, my mom out of nowhere, and let me also say, like, my mom was 71, but my mom's retired Army, and like my mom literally wore combat boots when that was a dig in the 80s, you know.
Your mom was coming.
She out of nowhere she got sick. It was completely unexpected. It was a rapid decline. She was hospitalized for 2 months, ICU the whole time. We never got a clear answer on what exactly was going on, other than she was actively dying and taking a while to do it. And she passed away last July. So I essentially took like 6 months off because this isn't a gig you can really do when you're sad. And I'm super fortunate and lucky that I could take 6 months off and just focus, on my little people. And Fiona, who keeps edging over here, like she's thinking of coming up and joining the conversation, but then she hides again. She's so scared. But yeah, so I just took some time off with the pups and with the children and focused on that sort of thing for a while.
Well, I am honored, and I'm thankful you're back. And it's inspiring that that you're still doing it, that you're still around. And
thank you.
Thank you for being a friend. Before we
Thank
begin with the rest of this show, I would like to say that everything we talk about is between consenting adults. It's not for kids. It's not for anyone under 18. It's for adults. We're adults. It's a lifestyle. We're a little weird. We're a little quirky. We're creative. But there's a lot of us. We vote. And we're also, we contribute to society. We inspire. Don't judge. Don't be a twat waffle. Don't be a douche canoe. Yeah.
No twat waffles.
Stop it. No twat waffle. So let's get to the show. Well, you know what? We'll just start with Stan. Stan, Miss Cassidy, if you could have any superpower, what would it be, and how would you use it in your kinky life?
Oh goodness. Well, I love to travel, and all of my significants are significantly spaced out for me. So I'm going to have to go with something that moves me from place to place fastest, like either teleporting or lightning fast speed or being able to fly, something that takes me from here to wherever my partners are on the planet so I can get there quickly.
Nice. All right. Now back to, like you say, you took a break. Kink calls you. Kink keeps calling you. For me, at least, I think I'm like, I've had enough. I had all the kink I have for enough. I've lived a wonderful life. But something happens. Like something happens in me, a fire, like a simmer, bubbles up, you know what I mean? So what inspires you to kind of like get back things going? You took 6 months, excuse me.
Well, I mean, with that, I took.
You never left.
Right, exactly. I don't think at this stage of my life and this stage of my career, I don't think I really can leave. I joke all the time, but I'm so being serious. Yeah. I don't know how to vanilla. I legit, I don't know. I don't understand what people are talking about when I'm in vanilla spaces. I don't understand, I'll kind of mix and match a couple different experiences so that I'm not identifying any one person or anything. But I'll be at a vanilla event, something completely mundane, like a holiday party, a birthday party, whatever. And I don't understand why it's okay to trash talk your partner or your child or your job, but it's not okay to talk about the spanking you gave somebody that they loved. It's okay for me to say, my significant other or something is getting on my last nerve. And that's not only acceptable, it's kind of encouraged. But if I wanted to share something adult in nature, I'm talking, of course, in an adult conversation, no little people.
Yeah, consensual adults and everything like that. Oh, Miss Cassidy, cream is freezing. Oh no. Cassidy, you froze. You're on the way out. Everybody, please get 15% off all items at lockedandlust.com with offer code YKF. Cassidy is out. Okay. She's out. She'll be back. Everybody, please buy a book. Read books. Shout out to everybody at the Manor and look out for upcoming shows. We are starting something called the YKF Author Circle, and we will be we'll have books and authors. We have our first episode. We will have more soon. Oh, and here's Mr. Cassidy.
And here's Kate. She decided to come join us. Say hi to Nikki.
Adorable.
Right?
Absolutely adorable. All right, in the last show, this is your quote. You wrote, "No one with a foot fetish seems to give a good foot massage." Now, it's been a while since we spoke. Has this changed?
I had to contemplate this after we spoke, and in fairness, I need to edit what I said before, because I've had partners that have foot fetishes who give amazing foot massages. I have an ex who legit used to be able to deep throat my size 8 foot. How is that? Yeah, right down, right there, like a sword swallower. So in those, in actual interpersonal relationships, foot massage is not so tricky. What I mean is more clients. And I think what it is, I don't think I'm a very intimidating person, but that is what they're coming to me for, right? I think that when I see clients, and they have a foot fetish, and perhaps they have a foot fetish that they haven't explored before. It's, maybe a first time that they're doing it, or the first positive experience they're having with it. I think they get a little too excited and they're like, I'm going to do it. And then they don't do it well, unfortunately, because I'll be standing there, or sitting there rather, and I'll be like, no, I want you to squeeze it because I like a lot of pressure. And I'll be like, squeeze it like you're wringing out laundry. Just like go twice as hard as you think I'd like, and then go a little further. And without fail, they're so gentle and soft and sweet, and they're trying not to hurt me, and that's cool. They're trying to be respectful, and that's super cool. And they're also trying to have the experience that they're trying to have. So perhaps in their mind, a soft, gentle foot fetish, soft, gentle foot massage is what they want to give.
It's a delicate balance, I think,
right?
Giving a foot massage, because one of the things that is like a nightmare for me is if I'm giving a foot massage and the person's like, yeah, or like if just if you miss something, if you do something just by accident, you mean well, but your thumb could just go the wrong way and just like, you know what I mean? So that's like, it's a big fear. So that's why I think a lot of people don't want to go too hard. Right. And that's why the person's always like, oh, can you do harder, please? Right. Okay, please do harder.
Even more. So, in my relationship, in my private dynamic with my top, when I'm on that rare occasion when I'm in bottom mode, I actually enjoy bastinado, like receiving it from him. And like, I want it to be enough that I'm wincing through the airport the next day.
That's a good quote. I want it to be.
Not everybody should know that side of me.
No, that's good. I'll put it as a secondary quote. Airport. That's a great quote.
I legitimately have on several occasions, like when they tell you to take your socks off, take your shoes off, like I have to be wearing socks so that my feet aren't touching those filthy floors in the airport.
Oh God. Oh yeah. Forget about the pain. Just let's talk about like microorganisms,
Right. Right. Exactly.
All right. So what is the proper way to worship your feet? And before you answer this, all right, let me put some perspective on this. You were on the show on the Locktober episode. It's YKF Sundays, and we're talking about being at the Manor, which is the dungeon. Shout out to Mistress Manor, Catnip, and Mistress Shari, especially. So it's this big manor. It's this big dungeon. It's 3 floors, and then the bottom floor is the main dungeon. And what we like.
Invite me, Nick.
Oh no, you're always welcome.
You're always welcome. You need to bring me as your guest.
Okay, come on.
It wasn't like, I don't want a generic invitation. I want a special.
No. Okay. No, yes. Oh, yes. We're going to have a lot of fun. So yesterday I'm there, right? And it's a black party, all black. Everybody had to wear black because it was Halloween. It was a shout out to Catnip, his birthday. So we're back, but we're on a couch. So my queen is sitting on the couch now. Keep in mind, I'm in a suit and everything like that. I know, chastity and garter belts and stockings underneath, but full on black suit, everything like that. Right? I must say we look good. I feel good that we look good, But I'm trying to massage your feet. So there's 1,000,001 things going on, right? There's people on the St. Andrew's Cross. There's people being suspended. We're doing electro play all in front of our eyes, and I'm massaging her feet. Now we've done scenes before, so it's like this is where we're chilling, but still, it's on this. She's on the side, and I'm trying to massage her feet in the best way possible. What is the proper way to massage or worship feet that way?
Well, what's the best way to worship my feet isn't going to be the best way to worship Miss Sunshine's feet. So, the most important thing is to get like good feedback from the person that you're giving it to, and also to know, if it's an established dynamic, somebody you've played with before, if their nonverbal cues, that'll be helpful too, because I do tend to, well, it depends, but I might get real quiet when I'm really enjoying myself because I'm like zoned out and really experiencing it. So I might not be saying, yes, that's exactly right. But if I've got a little smile on my face and kind of quietly humming, it's probably a good indication that I'm enjoying myself. But for me, I'm curious, before I answer the question entirely, Do you find that scenario like when somebody's on the cross and somebody else is doing electric play and somebody else is doing trampoline and it's all happening around you? Do you find that kind of setting to be like, that it makes you feel warm and cozy, or is it super distracting and you're just, like, I got to see it all?
It's a little bit of both, and both beautifully overwhelming. I
Right.
feel like I'm living in a Renaissance painting almost, or like some kind of painting with like tons of stuff's going on, and I feel like I'm in a shot of like a Wes Anderson film or a Stanley Kubrick film.
Exactly.
I'm nervous in the sense that I don't want to mess it up, right?
Right.
So but I also feel like the coolest motherfucker in the world, and
Exactly. That's very similar to my vibe too. I love when I'm zoned out in a scene in a bigger space and I'm super enjoying myself in whatever capacity I'm in. And then I just kind of
yeah,
catch somebody out of the corner of my eye. And maybe you make like that quick moment of eye contact and you see
hmm
that they're in the zone, you're in the zone,
yeah.
you're in different zones, but you're just you're
hmm
vibing so high. I love that.
It's a
Um,
wild feeling if you're on like a St. Andrew's cross, or you're tied up or something like that, and you look over and you see someone else is in a similar kind of position, and you're just
right.
like, yeah,
And they're not necessarily watching you because they're into their own moment,
no,
but they might
they're just
catch
in the
you
periphery.
and you might catch them and you might have that quick passing, like, aren't we so fucking cool?
Yeah, yeah. And then afterwards, you see like upstairs, or you see each other at the party, and you're like, oh yeah, and you look like I look totally different. Oh, I wasn't wearing a straight jacket,
Right.
up here. Yes. Stan Vladimir says, I am sorry for your loss. My
Thank you,
condolences.
Stan.
And he also asks, when did you learn that you were a kinky person? Was it something that you read or watched?
I feel like I may have shared this on here before, but maybe I haven't. I'm not sure. Um, so I can remember one of my first exposures to it in any significant manner was reading Anne Rice. Of course, she wrote it under a pen name Sleeping Beauty, right? I bought
Yeah.
the first one by accident. I didn't exactly know what I was buying. It was just it's just a Sleeping Beauty fairy tale story, is what I thought. And then I was like, whoa, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. And I remember, so I was like 20 or 21. I was early 20s, but I was already living on my own. I already had a family. I was living with my significant other. And I remember that I kept this hidden. Like I kept the book hidden for fear that he would see it, catch it,
Mm.
open it up, catch something and think I was some sort of freak. And, like a million years later, perhaps he wouldn't be my ex if I had just shared it back then early on. We found out later how compatible we might have been. But that was my very first exposure to it. And it was probably another. So I read that, and then I read the other ones in the series. And then that was at the same time that we had our first our first desktop in our house, the first, online AOL disk, the whole bit. And doing some like private exploration online without cluing my partner in, without sharing it with anyone.
Mm.
Super, super scared that I was going to get caught. And not only that I was going to get caught, but that there would be negative repercussions if my partner or my friends were to find out. Um, and then I was a dancer. Overlapping this, I was a stripper for years and years, and I met somebody who was a dom while I was dancing, and it just seemed, I already knew that I had these, that I found it fascinating and interesting, but I hadn't had any experience in real time, and I was looking for something to like step away. I wasn't able to continue dancing for a lot of stuff that was going on in my personal life. I needed something that was going to earn in the same way in less amount of time. And so I decided I would kind of like give dom work a try and see what happened there, and slowly introduce the people, slowly came out to the people in my life as I felt more and more confident with it.
Mm.
Um, and I remember like the first ads I ran for dom work literally said things like, so I don't know what I'm doing, but I need a boy to volunteer for me. And I
So
looked at
that's
the
interesting that you said
imagination
that.
thing. be my human guinea pig. I had ads that literally used language like be my human guinea pig. And I looked at what other, I didn't know anybody that I was looking at their ads for, but I looked at what other professional DOMs were charging and what they were offering, and would put out ads saying things like, I really want to explore X and I'm willing to, offer it at a tribute of Y. And it was, really lowballing, but not to undercut other people, but in recognition that I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah, I totally get that approach, and I've seen it.
It was brilliant. It worked really. I don't know that it would work today, because it's a different world now, but it worked really well then. This is 1999.
There's a chapter in my book, Your Kinky Friends, right?
Which is your third? So I've read that, and I've read Chip Black Nail Polish. I know what it is. Never mind. I've read all of them.
The coolest way to kill yourself.
Yeah, I have read all of them. I was thinking I had missed one of them, but as you were saying it.
So there's a chapter in this book called The Craigslist Bait where they're trying to teach me that the world can be very lonely for a man who loves femdom. So they created a fake ad, basically saying I'm a dom, trying to learn things, and I'm looking to give someone a free trial just to be their be the guinea pig, so to speak. Mm-hmm. And she got inundated in within 10 minutes. Well, they said free. They did say free. So
yeah,
with and it's like
they were biological female, and they said they were going to offer free sessions. Forget it.
Yeah, but the amount in not only 10 minutes, the amount of people that just bombarded, and it got to the point where there were people that I knew. I was like, oh my God, I've worked with that person. Read a book, people. Your Kinky Friends. It's great. All right, so we have some questions. Here's one. What was the last dream you remember?
So I'm going to tell you a different thing, not the last. I remember almost all my dreams because I journal and stuff. But I had the coolest dream, and it's a little bit, perhaps oversharing just a little bit, but I'm going to share it here anyways because it was so cool. A couple weeks after my mother died, I had this dream that my mom was there, and she said, now that I'm only going to live in your memory, we're going to get along so much better. And I was like, brilliant. I'll take that. I'll take that.
Wow. That is great. Okay. So let's back to feet, because I was kind of obsessing over this quote, because I'm not a foot fetishist, but I want to be a good.
Oh, right. We
I want to be a good, I want to massage a foot the right way. I'm not creepy about it, but I also I got to get my technique down and all this stuff. I want, I don't want to be asked, oh, can you give me a foot massage? I want to be asked, please
give me a foot massage.
You know what I mean?
I've been looking forward to it. Here are some things
you get a lot of people. Yeah. So what are some stereotypes of people? Yeah. Okay. What are some things?
Here are some of the things I think are important. One, your hands should be warm. So if they're not already warm, you should spend some time warming them up before you're putting them on somebody's feet. And if their feet aren't warm, if their feet are freezing cold, instead of complaining about it, warm them up. Do some vigorous rubbing to get their feet warmed up. So for, temperature control first and foremost. And if your hands aren't already soft and well moisturized themselves, moisturize your hands and get your hands soft, because you don't want sandpaper rubbing up on your feet unless you're at the salon and you're trying to get exfoliated. And then, of course, listening to the person who you're giving the massage to. Are they wanting it more firm, gentler, asking for feedback if they're not giving it to you? Another thing I tell people when they're massaging my feet is to, the bottom of your feet. Where's my camera? So the bottom of your feet, right? There's no bones happening down here. You put your whole hand on the bottom, right? Your fingers go on the bottom, but your thumbs go on the top, because up here is where all these little bones are. You don't want to be pressing on those bones. So fingers bottom, thumbs on top, and then just kind of mindfully and with intention, move your hands around the feet. And again, ask for feedback. And, do you like it down here, back here? And probably for most people, the The instep is going to want a lot of attention. The space in here is a good place to focus. Your heel, I mean, yes, work it out a little bit, but this is so less sensitive than the rest of the foot. You don't really need to give this so much attention. Here, 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 and up here is where I would say to focus most of your time and pressure.
Thank you very much, Miss Cassidy Cream.
You're
And I think that a lot of people watching, they didn't hear a word you said, and they just looked at your feet, which is fine. You could always rewind. That's what the rewind button is for.
You just watch it over and over again, and then you can tip me because you and I both know what's going to happen when you watch it over and over again.
There you go. Yeah. Pay your cum tax.
I'm glad I didn't quite hear what it was when the water was still in my mouth. I would have spit it everywhere.
All right. So, what are the stereotypes of a foot fetish? You have beautiful feet, Miss Cassidy. People want your feet. You're a dominatrix. I'm sure the symbolism. You have people taking your foot, like deep throating your foot. I
said that before, right? We didn't say it in this one. Yeah.
So what are? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I want to pull it up again. Can you imagine that? Where is it? I have a size 8 foot. I guess kind of narrow, but not exceptionally so. And I have an ex that was able to take it right down, no gag, just bam, right down the throat, like a sword swallower.
Wow.
I mean,
right. So that's not a stereotypical foot fetishist, is it? Does the stereotypical foot fetishist just like deep throat feet, like full on?
No, I think that was the exception, not.
That was the exception.
I don't know that any, of course, the stereotype is that they're a little weird and a little that they're a Scorpio. I don't know. That seems to be a stereotype. That they're freaky and like. I don't know. I tend to think that they're like sensually oriented kink. You know what I mean? That people who are into feet tend to be like sensual in their
yeah. Okay. I get it. And I think that there's a symbolism to feet as well. There's the dominant submission thing. There is, we need our feet. We need our feet for so many things. You know what I mean? Seriously, the symbolism of feet go a long way. And a stocking foot. I have a lingerie fetish. So I see a woman's foot in stockings. I'm my heartstrings are pulled. All right. Here's a question we got from a fan. What is a bad foot job? Have you ever given a bad foot job?
Job sounds like work. Do you think I work, Nick?
No. All right. I didn't answer this question.
I don't do anything bad. I don't do anything bad.
So what do you do if you give a lot of advice to couples and everything like that? What happens if you have a client who's like, I love feet, but my wife, my partner, my whatever, they're weirded out by my foot fetish. What do you do?
So there's two parts of this equation, and I can have compassion for both sides of it, right? Like,
yeah.
Obviously your partner who's not into what you're into, whatever that might be, shouldn't feel compelled to fake it or to indulge you, or they shouldn't feel like they have to do that to satisfy you. But the flip side of that is you shouldn't feel weird for having this thing that you're attracted to. That's totally normal. We don't all like carrots. It's okay that you like them and your partner doesn't. It's okay that you like feet and your partner doesn't. Unfortunately, we live in a society that is predominantly monogamous. And if you were to say, so I'm going to satisfy my needs for foot indulgences somewhere else, your partner would probably get more upset about that than about the fact that you're into feet. But I think that's unfortunate. I think that should be the norm. If you have a thing,
and it's pretty harmless.
I can't imagine being monogamous again. Like that is so like, you might as well ask me if I'd want to cut off some of my fingers. Like, no, like I don't get what the attraction is for anybody. Yeah. I don't get why that's the norm. It's kind of what I was saying before about, I don't think I could vanilla if I wanted to.
I know what you mean. I want to definitely get to that. We're going to definitely, if we could vanilla if we wanted to, but before, let's go back to mentors and influences. So who are the people? Let's give some flowers to the people who really made you who you are.
um, I'm giggling so much about this because just recently, one of my partners, like we haven't yet defined what our relationship is. We don't have labels on it or whatever, but she's super, super important to me. She's a girl I went to Turkey with. And she recently, she was like, I want you to know I've been referring to you as my mentor to all my friends. And
Yeah, I can
and I
see that.
was so, I mean, I clarified it a little bit, like, well, what do you mean by that? But listening to her talk about it, I'm like, so if I'm your mentor, you're my protege. And I love the sound of that too. And I was just so, so very flattered by it. And it's such an honor that that's how she was describing me to other people, that like I'm an influence on her and guidance and all that. But aside from that, who have been some of my mentors in real life, who that I can disclose here in this setting, because that's tricky. Um, my relationship with my top, it has been one of the biggest influences in my life. We're about to hit 7 years, but we've actually known each other since we were children, and like our relationship kind of, we cross paths every couple decades or so and reconnect. And this time has been, like a 7 year dynamic. And at first glance, he is not, you wouldn't imagine that we're very compatible. He has a very, very different day life than I do, very different, but, also like that's what you need to grow, right? Like you need to be able to look at somebody, a different point of view, and hear things that you might not love hearing, but from somebody who you respect hearing it from. Um, I joke things like, he's very brave to tell me about myself like that. There's nobody else on the planet that would do that. But
Yeah.
all the same, I need to hear that sometimes. I mean, I don't want to hear it from anybody else on the planet. How dare anybody else try to tell me what I could do better? But when he's telling me, I'm really receptive to it. And it compels me to try harder and to grow and to learn and be better.
How do you find any kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Frustration when it comes with other people, not you, because
Mm,
you're a switch. I'm a switch.
no, I'm not a switch. I don't
You
use
know,
that.
but you bottom for. So please explain the
So in
dynamic.
my mind, and it's been an evolution, and this is where I'm at today, and it could change tomorrow. Once upon a time, I did identify as a switch. This is funny, right?
Okay.
For a chunk of time while doing professional dom work and not really living the lifestyle in my private life, or not much. Um, at that time, I was identifying mostly as a switch. Like I wanted to do these things, but I didn't have the opportunity to do them in my private life and whatever. And right when I decided 7.5 years ago, you know what? I'm really not a switch anymore. I'm so a top. I don't even want to explore those things anymore. I've passed
Okay.
that. I'm done with it. It's not for me. My top showed up in my life after I hadn't seen him for a couple of decades. And he was like, and it was the conversation of finding out that we're both in the lifestyle and both active in the lifestyle was really
Yeah.
funny. And then finding out
That is interesting.
he was a top, and suddenly being like, now that you're here, maybe I could give this a whirl. Maybe I could try this or that. And it's been amazing. So and why I say I'm not a switch, there's about 8 billion people on the planet. And if I engage with any of them, I'm a top. When I engage with my
Yes.
top,
Okay.
I'm a bottom. And that's it. I'm not open to. So I feel like to identify as a switch, there's more. And also I don't talk, like him and I don't, there's no switching within our dynamic. He is always a top. I am all, like that's the configuration always.
Mhm. Okay. All right. So when you were telling me about talking, finding out, or rediscovering each other, and then
Mm,
finding out you're both in a lifestyle, that fascinates me. That's something like it's a
that
scene out
was
of a movie
super
almost.
funny.
Like where were you? How did this happen? Were you on the phone? Were you at a munch? Like what was going on?
Okay. So also I want to share, like, this is a funny component too. This is the boy my mom used to be kind of the one that got away. Like, I didn't feel that way. She felt that way.
Yeah.
You should have dated a
Oh,
good
you
boy.
should have married so and so.
You should have stayed with a good boy like so and so. He's hard, all the things. I don't want to give out too much information about him because he has a high need for privacy.
Of course.
Okay, so he sends me a friend request. That's where it starts from, out of nowhere. And he's one of the few people from, my 20s that I haven't stayed in touch with. For the most part, I've stayed in touch with kids I went to elementary school with. But him and I hadn't. And so whatever. So he sends me a friend request, and I was in the basement right here. I remember pausing and looking at my phone. And also, I was on top of the world when it came. The relationship I was in was going really well. We were newly exploring kink as a couple. We were going to parties. I had just gotten a new gig working for an adult company, and things were totally on top of the world. And I was like, I'll accept the friend request like that. There was no question. Of course, I was going to accept his friend request. And I remember pausing for a moment and going, if I text him, this is probably going to blow up my whole entire world. And then I was like, let's do it. Because I'm a Sagittarius.
Let's do it.
I'm a Sagittarius. We light our bridges on fire when we're standing on them. Of course, I was going to text him. And so my primary partner and I were newly exploring poly. Like we had just opened up our relationship. We had just started dating and whatever. And I'm feeling so progressive and cool that I'm going to share this stuff with this boy that broke my heart, by the way. I mean, when my mom's talking about how cool he was, he's the one and only boy who ever broke my heart. I mean, boys don't usually do that to me. And so and this is also at a place where I had just started coming out to everybody. Like, for years and years, my closest friends knew what I did. My family knew what I did. But like outside of those circles, people didn't know what I did for work. And so when he asked me what I did for work, I took a deep breath. And really, I said it because I wanted to shock and awe him. And I wanted to make him regret his choices. And I was like, yeah, so I'm a professional dominatrix. Don't you wish you knew me?
Nice.
And then he was like, yeah, I'm going to a slave hunt this weekend. And I was like, what?
Oh, nice. That wasn't with Vivian de Lamore, was it?
I don't really. So
massive slave hunt.
We've never gone together. We've talked about it a little bit and like because I'm not bottoming with women. Well, not like that. I do like an audience when I'm engaged with him, but I don't think I would enjoy that setting. But whatever. I don't really know where that one was, but he's been to a couple.
Right. All right. So let's move on. But that is pretty awesome.
It was really sweet, and it's been really special ever since.
Now, one of the things, because you're both in the lifestyle, some people aren't really aware of this. What's it like being with someone who's also in the lifestyle? Like, what advice would you give to somebody of having a relationship? Because eventually, if you're in the lifestyle, you're gonna meet someone who's in the lifestyle, and you're gonna have a relationship with them. It's a different dynamic than a vanilla relationship. It is the same thing, the root of it, but it also has some maybe whips, chains, some humiliation, some degradation, some bodily fluids, a little more than typical. You know what I mean? So what's it like dating a kinky person?
It's amazing. I only date other kinky people. I think some of the great parts about being kinky and dating is that there's an expectation for like really being candid with each other and really being honest. There's also lots of opportunity to disclose information you might not otherwise share with people. Yes. That's really important to you, but just doesn't, in the course of a vanilla relationship, where would you put that info? When would you share that info? But because you're negotiating scenes, because you're navigating, pre and post play emotions and stuff, there's opportunity for you to say, an opportunity where you really should say, so listen, if we do X, that might cause me to, think about Y, and to disclose those things and to get a level. There's something so special about the level of acceptance that follows those kind of like really soul bearing moments, you know, something really empowering and bonding and just so special about it. Like I don't know how I don't know how vanilla people like function. Like where do they get their
Yeah.
magic from?
Well, they crack.
Yeah,
or
I'm
they
not
get
interested in that.
lost
What a
in.
waste.
Yeah. But one of the thing is, you're talking about. There's a sense of connection, a sense of honesty that kinky people have. That
Right,
the fact that you could tell each other your deepest sexual fantasies and
right.
be okay with it. You can't do that with everybody else. And
That's
vanilla
shocking.
couples, come on, you can't really do that with vanilla couples. You know, that's the
Right,
point of the kink community, like, is to be kinky. It's
right.
different. We're different. We're, you know, so it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So, all right.
Agree.
What advice would you give to someone who's dealing with shame in their family?
Well, I mean, I guess this would depend on where they're at. Like, is this, if you're in a position where your family has some tangible control over you, you live in their home, you work for their company, you drive their car, they pay for your insurance, whatever. If you've got some connections like that, then there does have to be for protecting yourself and your comfort and whatever it is you're getting from this relationship, there might have to be some um keep that info to yourself. There might have to be some level
Yeah.
of not sharing and not disclosing and not being as forthcoming. And also, it's, I think there's nothing wrong with that. Even if none of those scenarios exist, even if you're an adult living on your own with no kind of ties to your family in that way, you're allowed to keep things private. You don't have to disclose this information to your family if you don't feel. I actually said that I have, I have a big family. I have several adult children too. And there was one time when I said to one of them, like, we have great relationships, super honest and super candid with each other, of course. And one of them shared something with me that was a little bit much for I was clutching my pearls. And I was like, listen, there are kids out there that don't tell their mothers these things. And you could be one of those kids. I'd be okay with that at this point. At this point, you could keep that to yourself. I don't really mean that, but you can, and that's okay. It doesn't mean you're being dishonest if you don't share
Yeah.
everything with your family. So, but now if there's something you've shared with them and you thought maybe you'd get some kind of reaction that was good, or something was shared with them without your consent, um, there comes a point where you have to say, you know what, you can hold whatever opinion you want, and that's not, it's not my concern what you think of me.
Yeah.
It's really not. And I know I'm a good person. I know where my moral compass falls, and I'm okay with it. So if you feel differently, that's on you.
It's Halloween. I went to a Halloween party. It was great. Halloween's coming up. I went to a haunted house. So doing all this Halloween stuff, and a lot of people have costumes. So I don't know if you know this. Have you seen this? This is
Show me.
Frosted and Pasta. These are kinky Halloween costumes.
I
The
can't quite see
biggest.
them from here.
You can't see it. Okay, so
The baby oil.
the biggest one is the baby oil costume.
Mm, of
$69.69. Okay.
course it is.
Then there's these
Harry
men, my
Princess.
Harry Princess, my Harry Princess Beauty Beast. There is hot shit Halloween costume. Oh, great. A flaming piece of shit.
Yeah.
Bullshit. Here's men's sperm.
Yeah.
Okay. So
All right.
with all of that, Halloween, how do you Halloween up
I'm not
your
sure.
kinky life?
I'm not sure if I'm doing anything for Halloween this year. I don't have plans as of yet. Um, 2 years ago, Fiona and I were Alice in Wonderland, and Fiona was the Queen of Hearts. Um, but I haven't planned anything for this year. I'll probably just be, quasi vanillaing. What are
All
you
right,
doing
that's
for
good.
Halloween?
I did it.
You did it.
I
You're done with
I did
Halloween.
it. Yeah. No, not done with Halloween. We have the day, but like every day is Halloween. I'm like, ministry.
Same. same. I'll probably do my makeup slutty and wear something trashy, like it's a Tuesday.
Oh, yeah. All right. I always ask this because it's constantly changing platforms. No one's on MySpace anymore. When was the last time you've been on
Are you
Friendster?
sure?
Yes. I don't know. Maybe we should bring it back, you know?
You should,
I don't
and then
know.
maybe people
It's
won't
subversive.
deplatform us. If we hide out on that could be a thing. That could be brilliant. If we hide out on MySpace, maybe nobody will deplatform us.
Yeah. Yeah. Why don't we do that? Let's
Nobody
move
will
to
notice
MySpace.
us. We'll keep to ourselves. We'll just invite the kinky cool kids.
All right. So what platforms are you using these days?
So of
How can
course
people get in touch with you?
So I still have my OnlyFans, both the free one and the VIP one. And I'm live on my free one on Saturdays and on my VIP on Sundays, but I might change that soon. Um, I'm trying to focus more on my writing right now. I'm not as consistent with it as I should be, but I'm working on it. So my blog, I think I sent you the link for that. Still
Mhm.
active, still going. That's where you should, like, that's where I would want you to most reach out and say hello. Of course, I'm on Insta. And I keep trying, like every 3 months or so, I'm like, I should use Twitter. Everybody, or X, whatever the fuck it's called these days. Everybody uses it. It's where you're allowed to show grown-up things and blah, blah, blah. Every time I go there, everybody's so cranky. Everybody's so,
Yeah.
I can't. And then I
It's
stop
just filled
using
with
it again.
anger and
Yeah,
hate
I
and
can't
so
vibe
much
with that. It's awful.
racism, sexism, transphobia. I
Yeah.
get enough of that outside of my house in everyday world. I don't want to go
Yeah.
online and see more of it, you know?
And it's also like, okay,
It's just not
I want
cool.
to phrase this well. It's also a lot of people complaining about those things without necessarily the experience. Like, I don't
Oh
know. It's
God.
just a lot of complaining.
I know. Oh yeah, everyone's just complaining. That's what's great about talking to you, Cassie. We're survivors. We don't
Yeah,
complain. We solve
exactly.
problems.
Yeah,
Yeah.
rub some dirt on it and keep it moving.
Keep it moving. All right. The Kate West question. I think I asked this for you before, but if things change, Kate West asked this. Why are men so obsessed with their own assholes?
I don't know. Are they? Well, I don't. I don't. I don't know. I mean, I misread it at first and thought it said, "Why are men assholes?" And I was like, I don't know, genetics. I'm such a sexist. The men in my universe are not obsessed with their own assholes.
I'm not obsessed with my own asshole.
I didn't think so. But I do think, I mean, so for the men that see me that enjoy bottom play, that are may
Okay.
try, oftentimes it's a first time experience for them, or something that they are only able to do in limited, that if it's hard to get your partner to accept that you're into feet, imagine getting them to accept that you're into pegging.
Yeah. Right.
It's a step further than most wives and girlfriends are comfy with. Um, so if it's a new thing for them, perhaps that's why they seem obsessed with it, because it is an intense. The first time you try anal is pretty intense, right? And
Oh yeah.
so maybe that's it. Maybe it's because it's such an intense experience that then they're kind of hung up on it for a while.
Now, one of the things I think you said, I'm paraphrasing it, but you said something like, "I want you to want to sleep with me. I want you to try. I want you to try. It's not going to happen, but
No,
I want you to
no.
try." So, are there any new or fun ways to deny orgasm, or let's just put deny, right?
Deny,
What are new
right.
fun ways to deny?
Um, Well, I mean, and that is my take. You paraphrased it pretty spot on with what I say all the time. I do want you to try, and I do want you to, hope that you might change my mind someday, but it's not going to happen. Um, but yeah, just more of that. Like I really, that's one of the reasons why I keep my OnlyFans, even though it's probably the least important thing in my financial big picture, but I keep it because I love that interaction so much. And in that platform, I can, unlike when I'm in dom mode, when I'm in exhibitionist mode, I can be super, super aggressively flirty. You're behind a camera, you're behind a screen, you're not here with me. I can really, really flirt with you. I can really show you a lot and then be like, and that's where we stop.
Yeah.
There'll be no more for you.
No.
Of course you can't.
No.
Why did you think that was going to happen? Why do you think that's how it ended? How much have you tipped? My car note is really high. You need to.
With that being said, how can kinky people make money?
Well,
Not everyone's as beautiful as you, Cassidy Green.
well, I mean, appearance really isn't. I mean, I'll take that because I love having my ego fed. But traditional standards of beauty is not the most important thing if you're working in kink. More the confidence that you have and the way you carry yourself is really the more important thing if you're trying to work as a pro dom, if you're trying to work as a content creator. There's creators out there that even embrace and set out to present in a more nuanced and non-traditional way, um, you know, um, and that works for them. But so, how can kinky people make money? Well, if you are a craftsman or an artisan, certainly there is room for more designers of kinky paraphernalia, crops and whips and colors and what have you. And if you came up with an original take on one of those, novelty, I think kinky people especially love novelty and love unique pieces and unique pieces that are durable and does the job that you want it to do. It can't just be novel and then fall apart, but that's a different thing.
I love that you said that. Kinky people love novelty.
I think we do more than others.
Yeah, I cannot agree with you more. I really can't because I'm a quirky guy. I like weird cult things. I love novelties. Like, if you tell me a novelty store, I'm gonna walk into it.
I think kinky people too are far more apt to want to be in the know. Like we know stuff that you don't know, kind of. You know what I mean? The novelty of that. Like we know where the cool.
We got a word to the street.
Yeah.
Got an ear to the street. Yeah.
We're so sensory oriented that you kind of have I have to have that, or I'm not living my best life if I don't have novelty.
Yeah, and it's life is short, so there's that impulse of
and really appreciating those little special touches that are everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. So because life is short, we like these little special touches and details, and we are living in the community does deal with fantasy, and I've asked you this before, but of course I'm going to ask you again.
Yeah.
What is, let's say you have endless resources, right? You can go anywhere in the world. This time, though, you could bring all your friends, everybody you love. Where do you go? What do you do? Who do you bring with you? What is your ultimate kinky fantasy?
So I love that. I loved when you presented this question that way. If you had unlimited resources and you could do anything, I do have unlimited resources and I can do anything.
Nice.
And this
Not everybody does.
I am right now currently. And by that, I mean, when I say unlimited resources, what I really mean is I have an unlimited imagination and I have an unlimited creativity to have the things I want to have, regardless of what my dollar budget is. But this is my kinky fantasy. This is my happily ever after. This is my wildest dreams come true. That's what I'm doing. It's really important to me that I spend quality, quantitative time with my little vanillas. We're not going to talk about them much. We're not going to talk about them at all, really. But a huge part of my day is devoted to them because that's how I want it. And I am able to indulge in creating my art, and I'm able to indulge in creating content and engaging with people that matter to me. So I am living my kinky full-time every way fantasy right now, currently.
I love this. I love this so much because I feel like I'm living it too. I mean, a couple of years ago, I was in a hospital bed thinking I'm not going to see the next day. You know, And if I
Right.
do see the next day, it's not gonna be pretty.
Right.
Right? Never in a million years did I think that, like, I dreamt, I had an imagination, I had the fantasy and the hope of being here right now talking with you. You know what I mean? And
Right.
look at me. I'm here right now
I'm
talking
here
with you. It's,
talking to me,
you know,
and this is it. Exactly. And what else is there except for these special moments that you share with people that matter to you? And
yes.
if you stay really mindful of that and really appreciative of that, then more will come,
Hmm.
and you'll just move from one, not to say that there's not, I mean, we've both had a pretty tragic last year. And we could
Yeah.
focus on that. No one would fault us if we wanted to crawl back into bed and cry about it. Well, my top would, because I'm not allowed to do that. But nobody would fault us if we wanted to, like, nobody would blame us, fault us, or think less of us if we wanted to indulge in that and focus on that and just cry about it forever. However, that's not what I want to do. And that's not what I'm
Yeah.
here for. And I want to focus on all the good things that have happened and all the good things I'm looking forward to and all the things that I'm grateful and appreciative of.
Well, I am so grateful and appreciative of you. And I'm also grateful and appreciative of your taste. You have great taste. So,
Thank you.
we're going to do this
Yes.
rapid fire recommendations.
Yes, I'm
So
prepared.
recommend something. So, recommend a film.
A film. That was what I didn't have because I haven't seen a film in a while. I did just see Beetlejuice 2, and that was funny.
Oh, how was it?
It was funny. I felt like it could have been funnier, but it was funny. I was happy I saw it. We giggled about it. Fiona enjoyed it. Uh, but I've been rewatching X-Files for the past couple of weeks. I'm gonna
Oh,
do more of
yeah.
it later. It's been a long time since I've rewatched it. So like they're all feeling new to me because it's probably been 5 years more since the last time I did this. And
Will you be the Mulder to my Scully?
you're gonna be Scully, I'm gonna be Fox. I like
Oh,
that.
yeah. Okay. All right. So, yeah, Phil, X-Files. X-Files is great. David Duchovny. I like David Duchovny. In Californication, it gets a bad rap sometimes, but like I dig it. It is dated, but hey, it's got that
It is.
spirit,
It's so
which I
hard to
like.
enjoy things from, our 20s now because like different
I know I'm
standards.
listening to old music. I'm listening to like old music that I loved, old hip hop that I loved, and I'm like,
Same.
oh
You
yeah,
know what I found
I was
yesterday?
really digging it that much.
This is so old. This is like pre-hip hop. The other day, I somehow I don't even know what triggered it in my thought, and I was like, "Who sang that? And can I find it?" Run DMC, you talk too much, homeboy. You never shut up. I was like
You
jamming out
talk
to that
too
the
much.
other day.
That's a great song, though. I mean, yeah, and I'm surprised Doms don't use that.
Right?
Seriously,
Well,
you can make
that's
a Dom
exactly what I
a
was thinking. I was like,
femdom song.
could I use this with somebody gagged? Like I
Think
am
about it.
I
All
am
these
the Good
women,
Milkman. I will dance to anything, but I'm like, could I
yeah,
ride this in the dungeon? And I think I could.
you'll dance to anything by
Oh.
the Smiths. But think about it, all right? You talk too much. A Run DMC femdom cover version with a bunch of Doms, chanting the chorus. You talk too much, and then you have subs just like with tapes on their mouths. You know
Gagged.
what I mean?
Boys should be gagged all the time.
Or have like go into like corporate offices in like the White House and like Congress and like you talk too much, and just put tape or put ball gags in everybody's mouth. Like they just go
In their
through the
mouth.
streets. They just we go through the streets. Yeah, like just making everybody shut up. We need it. Oh my god, people! I look on the internet. That's why my show is the way it is. I'm not just some middle-aged. I'm not just
Sorry.
a middle-aged white guy just talking to a microphone saying what the problems are in the world. I don't want to be that dude. No one wants to watch that show. I don't want. There's enough of those shows out there.
Right,
I want
exactly. They already exist.
Yeah, I want people like you. All right. So we got the movies. We got the shows. We have music.
But we need to do a different music one too, because we're going
Okay.
to recommend you have to check out my protege. Remember, I was talking about her before. So Nikki Sweet. Nikki Sweet is my protege. She calls me her mentor. She's so special, and her music is amazing. I love all of it, but you in particular would love Laundry Day, which is one of my favorites. You can find
Laundry
it.
Day. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Nikki Sweet.
Nikki Sweet, Laundry Day, and there's also Porn is Art, and I Suck, and Three Holes, and a whole bunch of other ones that you would really love, but you would really enjoy it, I think.
Stan Vladimir recommends Alien Romulus. I didn't see that yet, but I am a fan of the Alien series.
Yeah.
All right. Recommend a meal.
I'm obsessed currently. Okay, so I have a couple of obsessions. I love soup dumplings. I found that out last year when I was having all the dental stuff done. I couldn't eat food, and turns out soup dumplings are the best invention ever. Love those. And I love microgreens. I'm putting them on everything.
Yeah, helpful.
And I have this obsession with lavender, putting lavender infusing everything, like eating flowers. It's important to me. So I put
I can check that out.
I put it in like my lemonade. I put it in my hot chocolate. I've even put it in coffee. I don't really drink a lot of coffee, but when I do, I'll put lavender in that too.
Stan Vladimir asked if you have any plans for Halloween. I believe we answered that question.
Right, not so much.
All right. Do you remember when we first started?
Yeah.
When we first started doing this show, I had a jar.
Yes.
I had a jar. And the jar, it got lost in the move. A lot of things have happened. I'm not in Denellen, New Jersey anymore. I'm not living in the place anymore. Living a whole new life. Very wonderful. Here's a new jar.
New jar.
Cat blessings. I don't know what's in the jar. I'm gonna pull stuff out of the jar. We're in this together, Miss Cassidy Cream. All right. So I don't know. I have no idea.
Whenever you pull stuff out of this jar, I feel like such a prude because so often I'm like, no, I don't do that. But go on, let's do it.
Well, okay, all right. So the rules of the jar. I'm gonna pull out. For those who don't know, I'm gonna pull out a little piece of paper. There's a little piece of paper on the jar. I don't know what's in this jar. I didn't write these on. Like I contributed to it, but Sunshine and some of the other people, contributed to it. Wrote on here. I pull it out. First thing that comes in your head. That's what you say. If you don't like it, please don't kink shame. So if it's not your thing, just say not my thing.
It's hard for me not to be like, ooh, gross.
Okay.
Some people like that.
Music during a scene.
Oh, it has to happen. You have to have music during a scene. And the best part about that is after the fact, every time you hear that song, you'll be like, oh, right, that's when
Oh, yeah.
I love that. I can't listen to Train. I mean, it's a silly song. I can't listen to Train without remembering that time that I did that thing.
Yeah, same thing with Bela Lugosi's Dead. I have a memory at the dungeon with that and Tear You Apart. There's like a mix. You can mix them together. But yeah, the Bauhaus Bela, it's every time it's on, it brings me back to this memory. All right. Vibrating butt plugs.
As long as you're not driving, that should be fun.
Okay. Alien impregnation.
Hard pass.
Okay. All right. Ooh, I saw one yesterday. I saw one yesterday at the manor party. Locking collars.
Oh, I love this. Yeah. Locking everything. I used to have a whole set of locking cuffs and collars. Love them. Lost custody of them.
Lingerie.
All the time. It's a given.
What's your favorite? Do you have a favorite? Do you have a go-to?
I love baby doll nighties. Like I love things that like aren't over the top. Like I also love over the top things too, but I love soft stuff, silky stuff, and like super body flattering. So like those little nighties that like cinch you up right here and then foofy out from there. Love those.
All right. I have a fetish for lingerie, but I think you know that.
I think you've mentioned that once or twice in a book, in person.
Locking heels.
Oh, I have these really cool straps that will turn any pair of heels into locking heels.
Really?
Uh-huh.
That's cool.
I've never used them for my own self.
Fake eyelashes.
Love them. The bigger, the better. The bigger, the closer to God or something like that.
My friend Daddy Delilah and Nikki, shout out to them. We were talking and she was saying sometimes the eyelashes for the cross-dressing, the feminization, sissification, stuff like that, the eyelashes kind of make is a turning point, the thing that like pushes it over. Yeah. Would you agree with that?
I do. Yeah. It really comes up even a hardly a really strong masculine face will look so much more feminine with fake lashes.
And there's a term. Oh, anybody in the chat, please. There's a term for like coming on eyelashes, something like that. I forget the name of it, but there's like some kind of term for it.
I thought you just called it
Okay.
glue in the eye shot.
Maybe.
There might be another
Whipping.
term for it. What? Whipping?
Whipping. Yeah.
That should happen.
That should that should happen. All right. What about piss?
See, that's one of the ones you asked me, and I'm like, yeah. So I
Yeah.
can't. I have engaged in a couple of times. I was explaining this, just making some suggestions to my top. Like,
Mhm.
I need the person who's receiving to like have a blindfold, have headphones in, earplugs in, and to hum a little bit, because I have performance anxiety. I'm not going to be able to give you this if you're looking and you can hear me. I'm like, I'm much too shy for that because I'm shy about
Performance
something.
anxiety for piss play. Yeah. You ever have to like stand over and be like, shut up, don't talk. Goes back in when you talk. All right, we're winding it down. Are you going to come by for the Halloween show for Sundays? If you are, we'd love to have you.
I think I am. I have to put my charger on my machine for a minute.
Okay.
So it just warned me that it was going into saver mode. And I'm going to have to scramble and try to find a costume. I can't be the only one dressed like a muggle.
Before we leave, we are looking for something. You know, the kink rabbit hole goes deep. The life is complicated. Luckily, we have each other. We have this community, to get us through it. Where do you want your kinky path to take you next?
I want my own cult. Oh, I'm not supposed to say that out loud in public. My talk is forbidden. Shh.
Okay.
No. In seriousness, like I want to, and I foresee this happening in the next few years. I want a compound. I don't really want a cult. That's silly. But I want a place where I can indulgently play. That is space for my friends and I to get together, maybe host an occasional event that's more than just my inner circle, but my inner circle is big, so it's probably enough just for them. And as I transition into that whole empty nest thing that's right around the corner for me, this is what I want to see in my life is someplace where I can, 24/7 really. I pretty much 24/7 already, but even more so.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I'm looking for the same thing. I want to have like a compound or a huge section where we can have a network, where we can have shows, we can have dungeons, we can have concerts, stand-up, music.
Exactly. And make it available to presenters who want to do maybe workshops from time to time, or little retreats, like aftercare, self-care kind of weekends.
And even like, bed and breakfasts and hotels and like even a kennel for your pups. Both your real pups and your your BDSM pups.
I've never really explored equestrian pet play. Oh my, it's gonna kill I think this is gonna die on me, Nikki.
All right. Well, we're gonna go. Hopefully we'll see you for the Sunday show. Miss Cassidy Cream, how can people get in touch with you and support you and give you money and just keep you kinky?
Well, my Cash App is Private Cass, CASS. If you just want to send money, I love silent sends. I'm not even being silly. It's such a rush when somebody's like, "Here, I was thinking of you, so I sent you a couple bucks for lunch." But no, aside from that silliness, best place to reach me is probably on Insta. That's the place I'm apt to see it first. But you have all my links and stuff, and really any of them will get to me eventually, even if it's not the quickest way to get me. And I'm always on FET too. So Mistress Cassidy on FET, that's one of the better ways to reach me too. That's one of the places I give my primary attention.
And thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for being.
Thank you for having me again. It's always so much fun. I love
speaking with you.
We have to. I just realized, we haven't. I was thinking, so where have we been to? We actually have never hung out in real time before, which seems shocking all this time. So we need to do that time.
Yes, in New Jersey, we have the Mischief Manor. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. Come by.
Is
Yes,
it
come by.
exclusive? Do they let muggles in?
Yeah, of course.
No.
And they're big Harry Potter fans as
I
well.
love Harry Potter and I hate muggles. I'm House Slytherin all day. I'm such an
Nice.
elitist.
So everybody, please read a book. Check out the
Mhm.
YKF author circle.
Yeah.
It's authors only. We had the first one last week. We're gonna have another one in November. Casby, Susie Martell is gonna be on it. We got Andy Muscola for the second round. We may have some more. I have books. Your kinky friends. This is. I tried to like represent the kink community in a way. It's a small snapshot of a small summer, but it's just real people, and it deals with like the real loneliness and the friendships and the there's subtleties in it. I'm very proud of it. Check it out, please. And also, the coolest way to kill yourself. These are love stories. They're true love stories. I'm trying to set up like a scene. We're the new romantics. You know what I mean? The new kinky romantics. Please support Miss Cassidy Cream and everything she does. Try to court her, try to sleep with her, try to be good. But yeah, you will be denied. Everybody, just remember the motto: be cool, be kind, keep an open mind. Take care.